At Petco, all the guinea pigs were in a big plexiglass enclosure with a center divider, boys on one side and girls on the other. An employee decided that all the long-haired guinea pigs should be on one side and short-haired on the other. It took forever to sort them out, and all the females were pregnant. Stick around for more stupid stories like this found on Reddit in today's episode. Welcome back to AskReddit Mondays on Redditainment. Today's post comes to us from this user and it reads, "What's the dumbest mistake you've seen an incompetent coworker make?" Let's not wait around and jump right into the comments. The first comment reads, "Social worker here. We're supposed to see clients who live with families once a year. A mom of a kid kept calling her worker but got no answer. Mom called the on-call worker who discovered the assigned worker had logged the visits in and made thorough notes. The mom said she never saw her in 2 years. This led to her whole caseload being audited, and then they found she had logged a visit with a client who'd been dead for months. While being audited, her supervisor decided to do a surprise visit to the client she was supposed to see. She never showed up and logged in the visit the next day." Talk about fake it till you make it in the most horrible way. I sincerely hope this worker got fired. Next comment says, "Had a guy take a cover off the base of a radar unit which had like 40 bolts holding it on. Gave him a ratchet wrench to do it. Half hour later, I go check on him. Only had about 10 off. Watched him a bit. He would take it off each time to move it for the next turn. Showed him how a ratchet works. Never assume people know stuff." And to add to this comment, don't be afraid to ask for help. If you don't know how something works, just ask somebody. I can't imagine how painful it must have been to watch this guy take off these bolts. Another comment says, "I worked on a golf course during the summer area with lots of poison ivy. 2 of my coworkers were instructed to weed a river edge area. If we encounter poison ivy, we either stop what we are doing or go get full suit protection with respirators. These dumbasses were weed whacking in the thickest poison ivy I've ever seen. No protective suit or glasses or respirator. I rolled up and noticed what the hell they were doing and point out all the poison ivy everywhere. They were aerosolizing the oil. They both ended up in the hospital on steroids to prevent their death because of the oils they inhaled." Someone follows up, "Not gonna lie, as someone who has never seen poison ivy firsthand, I'd probably have done the same thing because I assumed it's on contact and not an oil-based thing. Then again, if I lived in a part of the world where it grew, I'd probably know a bit more about how to keep myself safe from it." Again, if you don't know, ask somebody. It's not that difficult. Just my 2 cents. Another comment says, "Not a mistake necessarily, but I once witnessed our chief accounting officer and our only accountant, it was a small company, type in values into 2 Excel cells. Pull out a calculator, add the 2 numbers together in the calculator, and then type the answer in a 3rd cell. She had apparently been doing this for years, with sheets consisting of thousands of rows. I explained how to use formulas and copy them, but she apparently forgot because I saw her doing the same thing again months later." Talk about wasted time on the job. Oh my gosh. As somebody that works with Excel spreadsheets on the daily, this is hilarious. There's a lot of amazing things one can do with Excel spreadsheets. Take a few minutes to learn and it will save you hours of work. Another commenter says, "I had a coworker who was a guidance counselor at 5 schools in district. She was supposed to work 1 day at each school, unless she was called to a school for an urgent case. She would frequently call the school she was supposed to be at, stating she had an urgent case at another school. One day at lunch, she was talking about what was happening in her favorite soap opera. This was before VCRs, and the show aired long before the school day ended. The principal was sitting at her lunch table. He got up, smiled, and told her, 'See me when you're done with your lunch.' After checking, she hadn't seen more than a few kids per week for many months. Funny thing is, complaints about her work had gone down in that time. She was a crappy guidance counselor. No kidding. It sounds like a lot of these posts are basically about employees that do the absolute bare minimum and just cheat the system to get a paycheck. Another person says, dude was shooting up heroin in the bathroom and nodded out for an hour. When the boss finally found him, he still had the needle in his arm. Fired immediately. Yeesh. I don't even know what to say to that. Let's do a couple more for today. This one reads, I worked in a paint shop and every time a new chemical was introduced to the shop, I would ask about the hazards. They would tell me that it is a green chemical. There are no hazards. It's baby safe, they would say. Once, when I entered the shop, I saw a guy using a new spray. The side of the bucket indicated that it was dangerously poisonous and highly corrosive. I told him that he should be using a mask and gloves to use that chemical. He said, don't worry, it's baby safe. They even have a picture of a baby playing in it. Sure enough, it did. For reference, here's the picture that is linked in this comment. Anybody with a brain can tell that is not a baby playing in it. That is saying do not have a baby playing in it, if anything. After seeing the image, I yelled at the guy, this is the baby. He's not playing. He's not swimming. He's dying. Common sense ain't that common anymore, guys. Let's do one last one for today's episode, and here goes. New guy was dragging two 8,000-pound rolls of paper through the warehouse. This is against the rules for good reason. Anyway, he drove through a door designed for one roll and drug the top roll through the wall. Again, there's a link here in the comment with an actual picture of what happened. Edit. No, this isn't a typo. I spoke with a roll grab driver this morning to double check my facts. The rolls in this plant are between 6,000 and 8,000 pounds each. The picture really can't do justice to the scale here. Someone follows up in the comments saying, at least the door is now suitable for 2 rolls. What a wild ride, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.
Don't be scared. Just looking up. Don't be scared.